is a callback function that is going to be called whenever we change the text. So when changing the text, we want to set it to our state here. So if we save, let's try to write something here, and let's try to...
So normally this is in my academy, it's behind a course. But the reality is that every single day somebody is
I already know that it's working because I see
how do I promote this? How do I sell that? How do I make money doing this?
So whenever we change the text here, we see that
ultimately comes down to people want to make money. How do they do it? And I can tell you that if you do not do what I'm about to tell you, if you do not do this, then anything else you do is going to be harder.
Okay.
So this is an
we have it for our full name, for the phone number. Now we can just copy paste everything from here.
Right now, what I'm about to talk you through is.
But I think that's what we're gonna do. I'm not gonna create a separate component, but you could like take that text and text input, put it into a separate component.
The reality is
and just send
there's
many
value of elements that you need to
label
and
everything from here, for example, the value.
But I'm not going to go into all of that today. I'm going to focus on one thing.
Do that. So
the thing that I'm going to focus on is where most people start.
We can add some comments, by the way.
Most people start in the wrong place.
Just to know what
they'll build a website, and then they'll
name.
They'll come to me or somebody like me, and they'll say, I want to SEO my website. I want to do Facebook ads. I want to do some marketing. I want to do some ads. Or the most common question I get is, I want to do some ads.
Let's define a separate state for our phone number.
And every single time, without fail, every single time somebody comes to me with that question, I can guarantee you they're not ready.
Here, let's
the reason they're not ready is because they haven't done their homework. They haven't done the foundations. They haven't got the stuff in place that needs to be there.
Thing
so what I'm going to do in this video really quickly is talk you through some of those foundational basics. Not all of them, but some of them. Because there are two things that you can consider if you're going to do marketing. Okay, now it doesn't matter whether it's Google ads,
we have another
Facebook ads,
here.
Instagram ads. Doesn't matter whether it's going to be
styles
SEO,
row. I would add some.
What it's going to be. If you're going to do some form of advertising,
some
you need to ensure
vertical
that
margins
you are advertising
to separate the inputs one from another.
You are sending people
5.
That place that you're sending them it works.
And now you see that,
they look a bit it's not broken, and also
better.
that it
10
does
I think
its
it's going to
job.
be too much.
Two different things there. And then 2, I want to make sure that
like
you're
5
not
is wasting
your time and your energy. Okay, so hopefully by watching this video, it's going to help you understand some of the core things that you need to do.
We should continue
before you go into the marketing. And if this saves me somebody coming up to me and saying, I want to do some marketing when I'm not ready,
thank you very much for the support.
So normally I've got a whole course on this that goes through this in detail. I just want to cover an overview of it with you now. So what is it? What am I talking about? Well, let's
have you used Code Push for React Native for on-air updates?
Today we're going to talk about
in
SEO.
the tutorials. No, I don't think I used it.
Because I'm not interested in the paid advertising, in the Facebook ads, in the Instagram
I used
ads, in
the
any pay-per-click, in any
Expo and Expo build.
Where you pay
it
for your
also has like over-the-air updates.
Okay, that's separate.
You can check that out.
This is for people who do not want to pay for their advertising.
Can your TypeScript project be used in my JavaScript project?
Now, why am I doing this? Because
yes, it can. Just
is the
ignore all the types that I'm setting.
Out there.
For example,
there's nothing better, and it's not because it's free. Don't
whenever I set, I specify the types of the value. You just ignore them, and that's JavaScript.
Marketing tool out there. Word of mouth and you referring something because you've had a positive experience with it, or you referring something or finding something.
Hey sir, can you complete the project for a reference of a full-featured e-commerce app? Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do with this build. We're gonna have all the major features of an e-commerce application, like UI, all the product searches, adding to cart, managing cart, checkout, and so on. Seeing the orders, registering the orders in the database, integrating the payment gateway, and so on. But yeah, I'm gonna limit this build only to these main features that
if you're thinking about SEO for
e-commerce app
should have. So is, well, what is SEO?
It's gonna be a pretty
SEO is search
full-featured
engine optimization.
E-commerce hub.
Okay, so ask yourself this: why would you optimize for a search engine? Well, because you want to show up.
Why not validate the phone number input but by entering a number only? We can do that, for example, for the text input, we can say...
What's the outcome of the search engine?
How is it?
Well, the outcome of a search engine like Google is to provide you, the user, with the information that you are asking for. And it needs to be
keyboard type,
the most relevant information that you're asking for. It needs to be...
Let's edit it.
Honest and trustworthy information that you're asking for. It needs to be
equal to
fast. So if you're, for example, building a website and
phone pad, right?
delivering content, and somebody else is building exact same website
in our phone tab, if
but their website's faster than yours, then
keyboard,
in essence,
toggle
they're
software
going
keyboard.
to show up
Here I see the number keyboard.
And Google
it doesn't mean that I cannot use, I don't know,
so speed is important.
Some punctuations or something like that.
Is important because people
but the keyboard will be different.
Their data. So speed is
you can add like even like more strict rules,
making sure
more
it's
validation,
is important.
Of course.
How many other people have connected to it and looked at it and viewed it and been part of it? That's important. Okay, so it's that tribal mentality. All of these different factors build up an SEO picture.
Thanks for
so
suggesting
optimize
that.
For SEO, you're looking at all of these different areas, saying how can we improve these areas.
The next field, this is phone number, address. Let's do the address field.
You need to be in the top maybe 3. So let me type in something different. How to build a website. Okay? How to build a website. Now the first thing that comes up is Wix.com, and it's an ad. Now, not everybody, but most people will ignore the ads. They'll scroll down past the ads, okay? So you'll ignore ad 1, 2, and 3, which are paid ads, and you'll scroll down, and you'll normally take the first
we will remove a keyboard type
that you see. That's just what people do. That's how people operate. They don't want any paid ads. Some people will. Some people don't care. They'll just click the first one. Most people will come down here and just click on the first non-ad link,
like this,
and maybe.
I'm gonna skip the second input for the address.
All of this stuff.
I mean, I can add it, but
okay, so most people will either take this one, or they may take this one. 1, 2,
even for the
3
city and stuff like that.
But you're not looking
I think you already
no
get the idea
of
how to manage these forms. So you just copy paste it.
And if you're not on the top page of Google, just forget it. The only person that ever looks at page 2 of Google
and you add
is someone
any
Googling
fields that you would like.
or
So,
someone
for example,
Googling
city.
their competition. That's it. Okay, if you're not at the top spot of Google, and I'm not talking about the ad placement, I'm talking about organic here. If you're not in that top spot, then it's
pretty much the same thing.
You may end up second, third. You know, it's possible. And the idea is to find how to get you up there, how to get you ranked. Now, when people come to me and they say, "Oh, I want to SEO my website," one of the biggest things that they don't understand or what they think SEO entails.
The state,
is,
as well.
Some words, they'll write some content,
you either hard code yourself.
It's not true.
The state, or you get some library that will contain the states fields, the zip code,
there's lots of different
and let's add this button
Google's responsibility
for the checkout
to find your website. It's not Google's job. It's your job to tell
I'm not gonna add
Google
more
that your website exists.
fields here because it's pretty self-explanatory. Like
you need to have your website built.
How to add it.
So let's just go to our website. Here we go. Here is our website. Great.
For the button,
next thing you need to do once your website has been built. So take notes of this because this is important. So step 1, obviously, have a website. Step 2 is you need to check your website. You need to make sure that your website has been built well before you do anything else. Before you tell Google, before you do any SEO, before you do any marketing, before you do anything else,
we can
check your website. And it is so simple.
Add it at the end of the screen.
You used to have to go and find companies and then have experts
and
developers to go and do all of this stuff for you. Now you just don't need that anymore.
On press.
Nowadays you can do it yourself with
on
pretty much 2 to 3 clicks of the mouse.
Function.
So I'm going to assume you're using Google Chrome. If you're not, download it. Because this works best in Google Chrome.
Here,
you can use anything else, but Google Chrome is what we're going to be using for this. Now, on your website,
and here is where you can run some extra validations. I don't know. You can probably.
Okay. Now you can do this on your website right now. You can go and do this
let's
live.
Say.
So
I will show you a simple validation method how you can use.
I used to have a thing when I used to do talks when people, I used to say, well, how do you know if your website's built well?
String,
you just don't know if your website's been built well or not.
Like
how would you know? Well, now you do.
Then we can,
now you can tell if you've got a website or a web page or something that's been built. You can go and test it right now. And this is a simple test, but it's an effective one because this is what Google uses to determine your eligibility for ranking within SEO. So click on Inspect, left click on Inspect, and it will open up all of this crazy code at the bottom.
Return from this function, so nothing will happen if there is no full name. So if I press checkout, please fill in the full name field. However, if I have something here, I press checkout, nothing happens.
Close it and reopen it. So this is your website, any website on Google. In fact, in the comments, in the chat, why don't you, in the comments, why don't you actually give me a website? Give me a website, your website.
So
or a website.
now if I check out, I see the success message. However, if I don't have anything here, I press checkout. The function will not go here because it will return from here by showing this
and this
alert.
is going to open up the developer console.
This is a pretty primitive way of validation.
All we're going to do on these tabs along here is we're going to look along the line
other methods.
to one called Lighthouse.
For example, here we will also validate the phone number.
We're going to click on Lighthouse, and this is going to give us the ability to generate a report.
So if we don't have anything, it will say us, please fill in the full name. Okay, we fill in the full name, then we check out, then it says, please fill in the number field, and so on.
Or a mobile? Well, we're going to go for a desktop. Here. So we need to check those.
You can
practice, SEO, desktop,
do extra validations like
and that's it. That's all you need to do is to check this web page
number
to see how well it's been
valid
built.
And implement this function by checking the phone number using a regular expression.
At the base level, this is how
the options are limitless here.
Funnily enough,
another thing how you can do this validation is to do them in line and in a real-time way. For example, the user let me show you how to do that as well. I'm gonna do the first tool will be validation on submit, but for the address, let's do validation on edit.
Otherwise,
so for the address, we will have a separate state. For example, const
far too many website developers don't have a website or a crap website,
address.
And yet they're trying to get money out of you to build your website.
Address
so if you're going to trust somebody to do
this
something
is going to
for
be a state that
better
will
make sure they're doing it
the
themselves.
error message of our address. So initially,
this is important, and this is why it's
state our address
so
will not
right
have
now, we have
a
score of 93 out of 100 for performance.
That's okay.
100 for accessibility,
However,
best practice, and SEO.
Where is it?
And you're watching me do this live. This isn't like a screenshot or anything or a video. This is live.
Address. You will have to play a lot with the styles and how you want to
different areas
actually
that are broken
display.
Down here. The first being
but
performance.
I can.
This is how quickly does your website
I can display
load.
the error beneath the input itself. So by doing a conditional rendering,
this works
saying if address error
web vitals
is true, if it's not an empty string, we will render a text
to Google search
with
bear with me a second.
the error itself.
This,
so where is it?
But I want to get here
address
first.
error.
So let me just open this up. Okay. Now, Core Web Vitals.
Like this.
Core
and
Web
I'm going to
Vitals
add some
and if I
styles,
go to,
for example,
the desktop, and I open
style
the report.
dot
okay, and we have
error
a
label.
Let me see.
Let's
Here we go.
copy
Core
it.
Web
Let's
Vital
add the
report.
styles
So
for this.
you can go to
and
support.google.com.
the only thing that I want to do is to change the color
just type
to
it in.
red.
If you type it into Google Core Web Vitals, it will bring this up. But
strings
to save
must
you this
be
time so that you understand, the Core Web Vital report shows you how pages perform based on real world usage data, sometimes called field data. Okay. Now, longer page load times have a severe effect on bounce rates, for example. If a page load increases from 1 second to 3 seconds, your bounce rate, i.e. people leaving, increases by 32%. If a page takes from 1 to 6 seconds to load, your bounce rate increases by 106%. These are case studies. This has been done by case studies. So Google knows that the longer your website takes to load, the less chance someone's going to stick or to click on it.
Yeah.
So, as a result, if your website takes too long to load, Google's not even going to index you. It's not even going to show up. It won't bother.
Negating
because
it
there's
2
no
times,
point. So
we transform it to a true or false value depending on the string
that there
itself.
are some metrics that are involved around the
initially
performance.
nothing happens there. However, if we set the address error,
first contentful paint, speed index,
invalid
largest contentful
address,
paint,
save,
time to interactive,
we see the invalid address beneath
cumulative layout
the address field.
This is known as FCP,
but how can
LCP,
we
and CLS. Okay, if I was to
how can we manage this error state automatically?
Where is
that's by doing something like this.
You can actually go into the Lighthouse test, and you can see what all of these things mean.
One change text. Whenever we change the text, whenever we
it's one of 6 metrics tracked in the performance section.
We need to clear all the errors because, for
it
example,
what they mean. So first,
if I have here an error and I start typing, I don't want to see the error.
Image
I
is painted on the website. So when you
assume that the field is
the speed index.
There is no error in that field. So for that reason, I'm gonna do here
a time to interactive. How long does it take before a user can interact with the website?
Expand that function.
First,
because I need to do 2 things.
Okay, when the primary content of a page is visible.
The first thing is to set address to the text, and the second thing is to
add up to this score. And so what you need to do is you need to ensure that everything is as it needs to be. Here we go. So you can see this. Now our speed index could be better.
So it's going to be more
shows
clear.
How quickly the contents of a page are visibly populated. Currently ours takes 1.4 seconds. Okay, so it could be quicker. Largest contentful paint, 1.5 seconds. Could be quicker. But overall, everything else, really, really good. Now, if it's if you do this audit on your website and you find out from Lighthouse,
right now we have an error, but whenever we start typing, the error disappears. That's good.
Okay. If it's between 50 to 80,
then we should
you should really
validate the field,
and probably some
but not when we type, because that's going to be annoying.
But as long as it's over 80, I would say
if you
fine. Now,
didn't finish typing,
to be a high achiever, 90 to 100 is where you're aiming.
We should wait the user to finish typing before validating it. So there is this callback function on the text input.
If you're in the green, then you're good with that. So you want to be aiming for scores of 90 plus. So that you can say,
editing, something like this.
We're good.
And here we can call a function that we will define in a moment called
because it takes relatively less effort to get from 50 to 90 than it does to get from 90 to 100. The amount of work that you have to put in is a lot smaller to do the initial tweaks and the final. The perfection at the final last minute.
So how should we validate address? Let's say if
spend more time
the address field
and so we don't worry too much as long as it's in the green
length
is
less than 3 characters.
Key metric
let's say that the address is too short and is invalid.
Are you on the right server?
Address
is your
error.
Website built well?
We set it to.
Okay. Do you have like big images? Do you have stuff on your website that's going to slow your website down? And the way that we can check this is by going to a site called GTmetrix.
You can have multiple checks here, like depending on how you want to validate the specific field. I don't know.
Okay,
you can have like
analyze our
it's more than 10 character, address is too long.
Okay. And we're going to
That's just a very random validation, but I just want to show you how you can validate
your website into GTmetrix.
So,
and it will tell you all
let's
of the problems.
do it initially.
Every time you do this test, you're going to get slightly different results. It's going to be good, bad. It's going to be
no
up and
error.
down. You can do this
we start typing. I type something, and I go away. Like I focus on a different field.
This is the absolute number that we've got.
Our text input will trigger this on-end editing. The on-end editing will try to validate the field. It will see that the address length is less than 3. It's 1. And it will say address is too short.
We
update the state of the address error. We display it here.
Now let's
we go back. We edit it.
Oh, it says we've reached our limit.
Address is too long.
Okay. Let's open this in an incognito
like this.
window.
It's perfect. There is no error. And this way you can have like very nice inline validation for your
So you've just watched us do one test. And I can show you side by side so you can see the results that we got here.
Yeah, Cumbersome, to do that, you have to do this.
Our GTmetrix test.
Yeah, to reset the error,
and now
you have to validate the field. You have to show the text. Also, if you want to adjust the styles of the input based on the on the error state, you can do that as well. For example, you can have a red border.
So every time you do it, it's going to slightly change.
Here, the possibilities are limitless, and it's the grade only based on
is a vanity grade.
The UX that you're trying to build and
that much. What you're interested
how you
in
want to
is
do
the
it.
Performance score
But
and the structure
yeah,
score.
inline errors is a very good way to validate forms.
Just talked about your largest.
And by the way, whenever we press the
total
checkout,
blocking time and your cumulative
if you have
layout shift,
inline
which are the free metrics that Google is using to
if you have inline
so
validation,
we're testing this.
When we press checkout, we must check if there is no inline error. So if address error is true,
we may get
that means there is an inline error.
So again,
then we can say
worry
alert,
too much. This is a lot of people will come here and they will do this. And they will
fix all
either spend so much time making their page perfect that they forget to actually do anything else in their business.
And
or they'll Photoshop
we return.
It to lie.
We don't want the user to submit when there is an inline error.
Say, hey, look what we just did.
So right now, if I press fix all field errors before submitting, if I fix the address error and I try to check out, it's going to be the next one from here and from here.
The reason it's not
check
making
out,
any money
success,
is rather than
check
dealing
out.
with their customers, they're dealing with Facebook
Okay,
groups,
so
bragging and showing off about how good their
this
website
way I
is.
showed you how you
It's
can
just a way of trying to get exposure
do
or
validation in different ways.
And I get it. I get why people do it.
Validation on submit.
We're not in it for the ego. We're not in it for the vanity. We're in it for the sanity.
On the fly, like when
for
editing.
us, it's all about the money that we're going to make out of it, rather than.
Do you have any questions
on
this, or is it clear?
We're doing. So as you see, we got an E grade that time, a lot lower. It varies every time. Okay, so with that being said, we're not going to keep running this test. We're going to leave it there. What we want to do, and the reason we're coming across to here, is because we want to test what is holding our website back. Okay, what's causing the problems? Now, we're actually doing a test in Canada at the moment. If you go to different locations, depending on where your server is, okay, different things are going to happen.
Hey, Vadim, latecomer here. You're welcome.
I don't know.
Yeah, I hope you follow the first video.
I need to log in.
Today we finish our UI for the
Amazon
I
think
clone.
if I'm logged in, it's not going to let me. So anyway,
we're almost
you can change servers and it will
end.
give you different stuff. But regardless, don't worry about that. So here, what I'm looking at. If I scroll down the summary, it's going to tell me all of the things that I need to do.
Are you allowed to use React Forms library? There is a pretty good one called React Hook Form, which has robust error handling, but I'm not sure if you can use it with React Native. That's a very good question.
Okay, so in this example here, I don't think I can do a retest because I've reached my limit here.
Most of the times,
if I come back,
like these things that are
what we can see here is it's taking 5.3
I tend to
seconds
implement
for the site to fully
myself.
load this time. Now I did another example and you saw it loaded.
But yeah,
in like
I agree.
2 seconds,
like
so
if you can find like a library that does this better and easier,
also we can click
go
on the performance here. If you click on the performance, and it's going to tell you what your problems are. So our largest contentful paint and our total blocking time, and you can learn more. There's so much good information on here now to learn more.
It really depends, but most probably it should be
all
able
of the
because
problems that we've got now. We've got.
I don't think so.
This is my point. I can sit here now and I can
works
go,
with
I
DOM
need to work on
elements.
this, I need to work on that.
I guess there should be something similar to React Native Forms.
Am I really bothered about shaving off those milliseconds just to get a better grade? As long as Google's happy with me, which we've already proved it is, it's fine.
React Hook Forms,
so
simple React Forms.
This is where we can check all of our stuff and find out. Now, if there's a problem on the website, okay, let's say you've got a slow loading page. If you've got a slow loading page, what you can do, the first thing you can do is come onto the waterfall, scroll down, and look at anything that's taking a long time.
Yeah, I didn't work with that, so I cannot suggest any good one.
Of a website, let's think of a website.
I learned a lot from your Tesla clone tutorial. Thank you, man. That's really awesome.
In fact, you know what? Let's do
Good luck. Start a new one. Hi, I'm pretty new to React. Would it make more sense to have a single address object with its own properties as a state of this component instead of having state props for each field?
Let's put this
I wouldn't suggest having a single object here. So what what Gianni is suggesting is to have, for example, I don't know,
we're going to have to do incognito mode,
a general state field.
So the purpose of this and the reason we're doing this here is because I don't know what I have no idea what website this is.
Everything
I've just
there.
literally grabbed it from Google. We're doing a test
example,
on it.
For example, it's an object with country.
I don't know if it's any good. I have no idea. It might be perfect. It might be crap. But I'm trying to find a problem that I can
full name and so on.
Let me see if I can find a problem. Maybe I won't. Maybe picking a website about building websites.
It might seem that it's going to be easier to manage.
No, they're really good.
But,
their website's really good.
But it's actually harder. I mean, whenever you want to change the state, you should remember that.
All right, let's try and
first of all, you need to set all other fields because whenever you'll change the full name, you don't want to reset the country or something like that. So you will need to change. Like, it's not that horrible.
We use this example,
but still, like whenever you set state,
so you can see how
you're gonna have to do the state callback and do set.
Okay, so fetching the site data.
State.
This is Link's cars. Country. As you can see, it looks horrific.
Which is new.
I bet it's going to be fully optimized.
Country.
It's just be so funny if it is.
So if you forget to add the first part, like the first state, you will reset all the fields. So it's a bit tricky. I wouldn't suggest doing that.
Actually, not bad.
I feel that this is much more clean.
Good. Pretty good.
So let's remove it and see what people are saying.
All right. It's actually not that bad, but. Look here, for example. Okay, look, this image we can see takes 2 seconds to load, and we can see what image that is. And if we click on it, we actually get to see it's this here. This takes 2 seconds to load.
You can use it with
React Native. It's little things like this that you can look at to say, well, how can I increase this? How can I improve that? It might be something
I didn't
red.
know. So
you might get an error with something that's not working.
Yeah,
so
if
what
you're saying
trying to do, my point that I'm trying to make here is you're trying to find all of the problems
React
on the
Forms
site
library
where you can
works
say,
on React Native. That's really awesome.
Like this is another one that we looked at here. You can say, okay, right, these are the problems. These are where the challenges is. These are the things that are not working.
Yeah, I think for a more complex state, you're better off using user reducer instead of state.
Almost half a second.
True when you have, for example, this relationship between an address and address error, you would use a reducer, but that really depends. Like,
but overall, as I said, this is going to give you a much better understanding of
it. Overcomplicates a bit things. So, but it definitely, if there are more
performance, you need to be able to check your performance.
More dependencies like this.
Performance is low.
Yeah, I think it makes sense.
Make sure that you are going to something
keep
like
it more simple to be
not only am I telling you what you need to check, but how to check it, and then that will then tell you how to improve it, the things you need to do to improve it, and you can either do that yourself or get someone to do it for you. But you need to work on your performance.
No, Skio is not speaking about the Redux. She was speaking about the user reducer
page
hook
on your website. Specifically,
this is, I think, inspired by Redux, but it's a separate React thing, and you use it whenever you have like these dependencies. For example, whenever you change address, you should remember to change the address error to an empty string, and whenever you finish editing address, you need to validate and set address. Like these dependencies between states, they're better managed with a reducer, but don't overcomplicate that. Like, you're pretty
for people that
good with state in this case
or maybe challenges reading or colorblind or anything like that. This just checks accessibility to make sure your website is accessible. All right, so that's what that means. So if there's any problems,
FormKit for React Native.
Best practice.
I haven't used that.
Checking all of the
I should check
SEO things that your website needs
if that's
to do
possible
in order
to use in
for
React
it
Native.
To be recommended by Google. So being
can you use API calls instead of hard coding in the next video? Yeah, that is the plan. First, today we finish the UI. And I don't want to
everything's in the right place, basically.
Mess
images,
everything like
resolutions, all of that good stuff. So
together, like UI and
want to check
backend.
best practice and make sure that's done. Okay.
And the next video is going to be about implementing the backend, and that's when we will implement like queries, APIs, GraphQL API, and so on. So wait for it; it's coming.
And everything's done, and all of the stuff on your website is done right. And once that is done right, and once that shows up, you'll get a score there. Again, if you've got a bad SEO score, chances are you're not going to be doing well when you SEO your website. So before you even start SEOing your website,
regarding React Query and React Hook Form, pretty awesome library, super performance and very lightweight.
The most
thank you for suggesting.
That you can do to check your pages on your website, your homepage, your landing pages. You need to make sure you do this. Now, once you've done that, very basic.
What's the next step?
You can then, once you're
the next step is
come across to Google
the
Search
thing
Console,
that I hate
log
the most.
yourself in. Okay,
is to make sure that the keyboard does not
which you can do. If you're using WordPress, we use a plugin called Google Sitekit.
The keyboard does not cover our inputs.
Come down here to where it says Sitemaps.
First of all, we need to put the inputs in a scroll view because we never know like if they will actually fit on the screen size of a user, because if you have like a little bit more fields, they might look good on your screen, but if a device is smaller, they might not fit. So if you, in this case, it's a good practice to put them inside
at that point you can look
scroll view.
Do you have any issues?
So let's do that.
Well, we knew we had an issue. We had one issue, but we fixed it.
At this point, so nothing will change because
we're just waiting
we don't have
to.
No,
it takes about 28 days normally for Google
paste a couple of fields,
push through the updates.
And
see that here,
this is going to be a scroll view like this.
And we go down to our report, and we go to our issues. We've submitted a validation. It started on the 14th of April.
Okay, I am back to
we'll
normal.
complete within 28 days. So you just have to wait. Once you've made the changes, you have to wait.
To
but you can see that we had some errors on our pages.
Oh.
And so we fixed them. There were like 16 errors.
To make sure that our
at one point,
keyboard does not go over
those 21 errors are going to have a negative impact on our SEO score. So you want to make sure that your page experience is good. You want to make sure your core web vitals are good for mobile and desktop. You want to make sure, obviously, your mobile usability is good.
And keyboard
you want to make sure that your coverage is good. You want to make sure you have 0 errors. You want to fix all your errors.
Before
the
coverage,
core web vitals, page experience,
I
all errors fixed. At the very, very least. Before you even think about SEO in your website,
come here.
Make sure that's done. Okay, once you've done that, at the very least, the next step, if you want to go a step further, the next thing you can do is do a full website audit. So what we do to do our website audits is we use some software. I'm just going to go into this right now. I'm going to open it up so you can see it. So I'm going to select my project. I'm going to go to
what's going on?
Come across here.
Okay.
Hey.
It will definitely not work from the beginning. So let's have a look at the documentation.
Oh, I think I've added another website and that's caused the problem. So hold on a second.
Avoiding view.
Let me go into here. Let me delete this project. Okay, we're back. All right, sorry about that. Let's come back into here. There we go. Good?
Okay.
We're good or not?
Let's take this behavior for our keyboard avoiding view.
Okay. Maybe it's because it's just expired. I don't know.
And
renew this.
Nothing works.
Second.
As usual. Okay, because platform, I need to import platform from
should
React
be okay, it should just be working. In fact, it does work because I know it does. I saw a message come through saying that it's renewed. This is some software that we pay for. Let me just double check because I'm pretty sure I paid for this already. I don't want to pay for it again. Maybe I'm wrong. Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it didn't.
I think I always added
some
padding on iOS.
Okay, I'm just doing that now. Pressing continue.
Tiles container.
So again, you can go and buy this software if you want to, but at the end of the day, you shouldn't have to because we already have it.
Would Flex One
let me
change anything?
Log into it 1 second.
No, it doesn't. It makes things worse.
I'm just. I didn't set up an automatic renewal, so I'm just doing that now.
Where are you?
Because it actually expired today. The irony that it expires during a live training, right? Anyway, right, let's just do that.
Come on.
So that should be done.
Restart.
Place the order. Okay. Says it's being processed. Please be patient. So I might have to wait a minute or two just while that works. But it does say that it's your payment is being processed. It may take up to 10 minutes before your subscription is reactivated.
Okay, how did we fix
my point is that I was trying to show you on this, or I was going to show you on this, is that we can do an audit on the website.
Yeah, keyboard vertical offset.
Now, obviously, we can't do that. There we go. We're back. Back to where we were.
Keyboard
so
vertical
if
offset.
I come into the website
and
here,
I think we were adding
it
only on the platform
this
iOS.
is going to show you the website audit that was done today.
iOS.
Okay. And this website audit shows you all of the problems on the website. It shows you your In fact, let me just restart this audit.
Right now,
okay, we're gonna
if I
launch a new audit. There we go.
Yeah,
and it's going to do an audit as we speak. So let's go into a different. Well, we won't do that actually. We'll look on here.
150 is too much.
Yeah, we can see different audits that we've had done. And
where is this number coming from? But it was there.
Just wait for that to be finished. What that's going to do is it's going to check every single part of our website. It's going to check from an SEO point of view
50?
All of the different things that need to be checked, from inbound links, outbound links, from errors on the website, problems, performance issues.
It's not even 50. It's 30?
Absolutely anything. And what we're going to do at the end of this, in about 5 minutes' time, once this is done, is it's going to show us any errors that we've got, any warnings, anything that we need to do or we need to consider. So with that being said, whilst that's working through, I want to invite any questions that you might have at the moment, because this, as I said, is the most important thing. People come to me and say, "Oh, I want to SEO my website. I want to promote my website."
City.
And I say, "Great, that's really good that you want to do that. But are you ready? Is your website ready for that? Because if you don't do this at the absolute minimum, if you don't do this, then all of the efforts and energy and time and money and things that you spend getting people to write content and for your blog posts and for all the stuff that you do
I can see it on the screen and everything
if you haven't got these
working.
Bits sorted first.
Okay.
You need to make sure that you've got an audit, that you understand that audit, and that you fix any
problems. All right. So I think that we are done with
start marketing, because that is
with this form.
SEO point.
And yeah, whenever we will implement the backend, here we're gonna submit all these fields about full name, phone number, address, city, and so on. We're gonna submit it together with
ready to SEO your website, and you've got
with an order.
Then what you need to understand is when people actually do land on your website, is the website doing what it needs to do?
And the last step in everything that we have done here for the UI is React Navigation.
Okay, that's the other thing you need to consider as you're going through this is, does the website do its job? Is it sending people to where they need to go? If
React Navigation, we're going to use it to navigate from screen to screen.
Does it take them to where they need to go?
To have this flow,
if I click on any of these
press
things,
on an item,
you're
going to go to the product details.
All right, so this is to increase the performance of our website. We have a slight delay on
so for that, we're going to use this library called React Navigation.
You see that in itself,
let's open the link for the Getting Started guide
to lazy loading. But from a usability point of view, that usability, yes, it's nice that the website loads quickly, but not at the detriment of the experience for the user. You want them, as they scroll, you want that image to already be there.
Okay.
You don't want people to have to wait for an image.
Let's grab the
So this is where you need to take into consideration just how much effort and energy you're putting into making your site more effective, and is it having a negative impact on the usability of the website as a result? I can tell you right now that by some of the things that have been changed, you can see that there
it also has some
like
dependencies.
if I click now on the quiz, you see the quiz doesn't pop up. Okay, so that is a problem as a result of optimizing the website.
We're
so
not doing it in Expo, we're doing it in
and I wanted to show you that
here.
as an example.
So this is the dependencies
you understand that it's
but we need to also install besides the library, such as React Native Animated, the gesture handler, screens, and so on.
That website, which is for somebody to have a positive experience when they visit it, and they need to be able to get
quite a few
an outcome from it. So if your menus and your buttons and your things aren't working as a result, then you need to recalibrate that process. But let's go back. Let's have a look now. So we're 3.5 minutes now, almost 4 minutes into this audit.
Anything, and if you are on developing
just a second, and we'll show you that
Mac OS
before we end this
for
video.
iOS,
but
then
you
need to also install the pods.
If nothing
if you're
else,
on Windows or Linux,
go to Lighthouse,
just keep this command.
Make sure you generate your report
change
to ensure that you know that your website's
iOS.
Okay, that is the most important.
And also let's import a React Native gesture handler in our
journey in understanding whether your efforts that you put into your SEO are going to be worthwhile or not. I hope that makes sense. I hope that
at the top here,
going through and showing you that and explaining that makes sense. And as you can see, our speed index a little bit better now. We're at 94. And I'm sure if I do another refresh on this, it might even be
then we're going to set up our navigation container.
In fact, let's go into the
and
incognito
all
window.
our routes.
Sometimes when you do incognito, you get a better result simply because
okay, to do that,
you haven't got any browser extensions or anything that could sometimes be causing challenges.
In the source, I'm gonna create a folder
as well. And our audit is now ready, which is good.
Called router.
So we're going to finish that off.
That will,
and we've got our audit.
Where we will
if we
define
look at
all
audit, we can see quality of the website user experience. Well, we can see right now that we've got still got a problem with the core web vitals.
So
remember I told you about these core web vitals? We need to make sure that they're working on desktop and on mobile. We can also see all of the issues on the website as we scroll down here, all of the problems. So if I go to issue report, now I can see all of the errors on the website. This is a full audit of the website from an SEO perspective. All of the things on the website that you can see, which are green, yellow, or red. Okay, so if we go up and look at our errors, 49 of our errors are slow page loading speeds. If I click on this, it's going to show me these are all of the pages that are loading slowly.
And
these pages need to be improved.
This one we need
to work on
to import.
Okay, now I might refresh this all.
Navigation container.
They come and go. Also, we've got no inbound links.
Yeah, because all our applications should be inside this navigation container.
In fact, we already know how to fix that.
This is the container that will manage everything about our navigation, will keep the state of our screens, like which screen is visible and so on. So we need to have only one of this navigation container, and all our routes should be inside it. So let's add it here.
Now,
like this.
That's it in terms of errors. You want to try and get those errors down as well. In terms of warnings, we're using some, two URLs are too long. We need to look at these URLs. The frame is being used here in these pages. We can remove that.
What else?
300 redirects that we should ideally remove. 2 error pages that don't work. So these links don't work anymore.
Here.
So and it even tells you the page with the issue. So on the about
page,
put
something
this link
temporarily
doesn't exist anymore.
I will import.
If I click on that link, it doesn't work.
Home.
So I actually need to go in and remove that link from that page. In fact, I can click on this page, open it up just by doing that, which is fantastic.
Screens.
If I log into my website, I can go and remove that link right now.
It's going to be temporary here because later we're going to add
here, this affiliate link.
The navigation stacks themselves.
So we need to make sure that these affiliate links, we can see that there's a problem here. So we need, these are like the errors in app.tsx you can go through just by checking on this.
Now in app.tsx we're gonna
quite easy to be able to fix these.
Remove all the imports of the screens, and instead of rendering the screen itself, we're gonna render the router.
Because we're referring to this in the footer.
And then router will decide which screen it should render. So router is imported from source.router here that we define. So let's save. Router is not defined. I think I need to rerun my application because I installed new libraries. So yarn iOS. No, it actually worked.
You might need someone to do it for you.
Will it do the backend? Yeah, of course. We're going to do the backend in the next video.
You need to have a website that you have the ability to edit. And secondly, I'd argue the fact that you need to put some time aside or some money aside to get these things done because they're important. Because there is no point spending money on paying a company to SEO your website if you're not going to fix the things that need fixing. So if I scroll down here, I can see that there are some links here. If I open these links up, I can see that as I scroll down.
Okay, we have a navigation container. Now you're ready to build and run your app on devices. Okay, besides the navigation container, we will also need some navigators.
That's now fixed that problem. That problem's now gone.
And
I can also
there
see
are a couple types of navigators.
Here, I believe.
For example, there is, let's say, a drawer navigation, and here there will be an example, and it's going to be clear what a drawer navigation is. So it's this side menu, or also called hamburger menu. That is displayed here on the side.
If I take that community out and update
everything is
that's going to fix all of those
you just need to define the routes that you need to put in the drawer navigation, and everything else is already managed by you. And yeah, it renders a native component, a native drawer navigation.
So that's 68.
Also, there are tab navigation.
69 problems fixed like that, and it took me seconds to do it. But it's understanding 58 pages are missing a description, so we need to go through and add those. All right, uncompressed content on one page. We need to have a look
an
at
example, but this is like the bottom tabs
that don't have a H1 tag that we need to fix. Duplicate H1 on 2 pages that we need to fix.
It?
No follow internal links.
Here,
old text missing on one image. So there's an image there. If I click there, it shows me what image
this is the bottom tab navigation.
Where it is. all of the problems on the website.
And also an important navigator is our Stack Navigator.
To see all of these things.
We have it here somewhere.
Because if you can fix these problems, you're going to have a better chance of showing up in Google than the next person. So this is the whole purpose of today's video, is really just to give you that understanding and that ability to look at things and say, well, all right, I now understand what's wrong with my website. I know where my problems are. Now I need to go away and fix them.
So a Stack Navigator does not have any specific visual effects, such as like such as a drawer navigation or a tab navigator that shows them in tabs. However, it has like this logical stack of screens. So whenever you go from one screen to another, a Stack Navigator will just put the new screen on top of a previous one, and so on. And whenever you go back, it just pops the last screen, and you go back to the previous screen that you have. Here is an example. You have a first screen like
we can have a chat about
of all the albums. You press on one, you get to the album details, and then you can go back. So that's achieved with a Create Stack Navigator.
Spend some time looking into.
So yeah, I'm gonna need the Stack Navigator. Let me install. Let me install it.
It's gonna be a waste of time.
Oh,
that's it for today. If you want to know anything else about any of the other content that I've got, any of the other videos that I've got, anything else that I've created,
we will also need
head over to onlinemastery.co.uk. Check out our academy, check out our advice center. There's so much information out there. I've given you a ton of valuable content today to go away and to research. And I haven't asked for anything in return for this. If you want any of the really, really good stuff, the stuff that goes like into this at a deeper level and other stuff like this, then please head over to the academy and support us there, and we'll be sure to come back and do some more videos for you soon.